All right, so this is an interesting use case, very specific. The point of this one is to show the power and the flexibility of the platform, not so much that you're going to want to do this exact use case. It's gnarly, but there's a lot of cool stuff we're doing here. Took me quite a while to get this. I had to work out a few kinks, but it's pretty cool how it works. So the use case, the idea here was this, somebody was interested in this sort of a use case, which is a customer can only have one product in the cart. So there's a product that if one person adds it to their cart, they don't want anyone else to be able to add it to their cart for some period of time. In this case, it's for an hour. We could do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want to do. We need to bump up our cron scheduling. Certain plan tiers can do like minutely and others can do every 15 minutes or whatever. But you get the idea. You get the picture. All right, so I'm using a meta field on the product to determine that is in cart state, okay? Then, what are we doing? We're closing this window. Next, let me show you what I'm doing in the theme, okay? So we're in the theme and we are in the product form.js in the onSubmit event handler. This is when add to cart happens in here, okay? So we're jumping in here, we're going, hey, if this is looking at this particular product ID, now it would be a little smoother if you were doing this on MetaField, if you used the MetaField to determine whether or not to do this or whatever. But in this case, we're just looking at one product. If you're in that product, we are going to check if this product is already in the cart. If so, we're going to give them an error message and we're going to return out of here, so it's not going to do the default add to cart functionality. If that fails, then we're just going to go ahead with it. Cool. So now let's pop on over to the product page. Now this is the product that has this stuff in place. Let's refresh here and see if it's in the cart. So it's already in the cart as of this testing, right? So it should happen when we hit add to cart, and we probably want to do some kind of a processing state when that happens. But it hit the web request. So here's what's happening in MESA. MESA has this handy web request trigger. And you can build all sorts of stuff out of here that's tying into your front-end code. That's the whole point of this demo, is that you don't have to spin up your own server to deal with stuff like this. You can work on the front end. You can hit MESA to do back-end logic and stuff off of this web request trigger. So the web request is grabbing the meta field. We're doing some custom code that and here's where this delay step comes in. We're checking to see if the meta field is true. If it's already in the cart, then we go, the product was already in the cart, okay? If it was not in the cart, that means they're going to be able to add it to the cart, and we're going to trigger this secondary automation that's going to remove it from the cart in after some delay. So in this case, we're doing this hour delay. And so this first web request is triggering this other automation using a web hook in order to set this meta field to false, okay? And here we can test it. One of the cool features about this delay step is you can skip the delay when you're testing. So here's so if we wanted to run this and see it do its thing, see it reset that meta field to false after the delay, that's what it would do. And then we can just refresh over here and we go, okay, cool. Is in cart is set to false now. So now if we're back over here, and sometimes maybe you want to look at the console there or whatever, you add to cart, it's hitting that web request. It's going was in cart is false. Cool. Add to cart. Good to go. And then you can pop back over here and you can say, hey, wait, let me inspect what just happened. And here's the request that just ran. And you can see everything that it did. And then again, this will have triggered this delayed reaction jobby here. So this got called and it's now in that delay step. So after that hour time period, it's going to remove from the cart. Now, meanwhile, if they finish that checkout and complete the purchase, you could obviously just control inventory in here. So if the product had, oh, at the moment I'm not using inventory, but I probably want to. So if you were to say track quantity, right, and if there was only one in stock, then if that person purchased it, then you wouldn't be able to purchase it because it'd be out of stock, just using standard out of stock functionality. So that's how it works. Cool use case here to demonstrate some of the more advanced features that you can use. I hope that's helpful. If you need any help setting it up, let us know.